Elon Musk fortifying his move to buy Twitter. According to a report from the New York Post, the Tesla CEO is willing to invest up to $15 billion of his own money in his move to take the social media company private and is looking to make his bid in the next 10 days. Musk is also said to be tapping Morgan Stanley to aid in raising an additional $10 billion for the bid. Joining me now is GETTR consultant and former Trump campaign communications director Tim Murtaugh. The left-wing reaction to Musk trying to take Twitter private has been comical, to say the least, Tim.
It has been comical, and it's really funny. Every time conservatives would complain about the censorship on Twitter, which Elon Musk rightly identifies as the biggest problem with Twitter and the other Silicon Valley tech giants, every time we identified censorship as the problem, all we would hear would be, oh, go get your own platform. So Jason Miller launched GETTR, and what was the reaction from the left on social media? They mocked it and said, oh, you guys have a good time over there. And now Elon Musk says, you know what, I think I want to buy Twitter. And all the left can do is say, no, 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 you can't do that. It's completely and totally broken. Twitter cannot be fixed in its current state. It has to be torn down to its core. Leadership, the board, senior leadership, middle leadership, even down to the programmers and coders. There is a real rot at Twitter. Elon Musk has identified it. They're going to make it really tough on him, and I don't know if he's going to be able to accomplish the purchase, but, you know, good for him for identifying the problem, good for him for trying.
Joe Concha, jump in.
I'd love to be at that point in my life, Tim, where I have the kind of money where if I don't like a product, I simply buy it. And as you say, tear it down and build it back up. I wonder if Twitter really did itself in with two things, which was when if you shared a story that said that COVID could have been created in a lab in Wuhan, which used to be a conspiracy theory, now is more and more accepted as the probable cause, and obviously the Hunter Biden laptop story, and if you even shared a story about that, you were locked out of your account, whether you were the New York Post or Kelly McEnany, who was the Trump press secretary at the time. So is that what drives Elon Musk here? It's not a profit play, but just a matter of fact that he is a free speech absolutist, and therefore he's going to do something about it?
Well, I think he's a good businessman. Anyone can, you don't become the richest man in the world by accident, I don't think. But I do think he's driven by business, but I think he is also driven in a significant part by the idea of free speech. I mean, he's called himself a free speech absolutist. So, yeah, I think it is those couple of things and maybe a few more. The Hunter Biden laptop thing is something, of course, that sticks in my craw. I was the communications director on the Trump campaign in 2019 and 2020. And the final weeks of the campaign, when the Hunter Biden laptop story was being suppressed, was something that I still get angry about, because the media knew they were suppressing it. The social media and the broadcast and print media, they knew it, and they did it anyway. And I think what I've read is what triggered Elon Musk is the suspension of the Babylon Bee from Twitter, which is a satirical website, and they get suspended all the time. Heck, the fact checkers fact check the Babylon Bee, and it just shows you that the left can't meme, the left doesn't have a sense of humor, and the left really truly believes that free speech is a threat to Western civilization and democracy itself, which is a joke. Free speech is a crucial ingredient in democracy, and the left views it exactly backwards.
And satire is satire, which the Supreme Court found in the case of Jerry Falwell against Larry Flint and Hustler magazine. Back decades ago. I think it was in the early 80s. I digress, but Tim, I actually said that. I was like, that was the tipping point, was the suspension of the Babylon Bee. Right when the Musk started talking about announced his bid for the company. Before we go, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is saying that Florida will look for ways to hold the board of directors of Twitter accountable over its response to Elon Musk's bid. DeSantis is saying that the board's move to utilize a, quote, poison pill to ward off Musk's offer breached its fiduciary duty and could damage the state's pension fund, which holds shares of the social media giant. Your take on this?
Well, Governor DeSantis is really, once again, he's really put his finger on what the issue is, and he always stands up and rises in defense of his state of Florida. I think he's exactly right. For the board to reject the bid out of hand without even really examining whether it was a good deal for the shareholders, which is their fiduciary responsibility, I think the Governor DeSantis has pinpointed it. And his job, and he's doing it, is to look out for the people of Florida, look out for the retirement funds that Florida holds for its state employees and teachers and so on, and make sure that it's being protected. And if they own a significant stake in Twitter, well, that matters. If Twitter has made a bad decision for its shareholders, that's bad for Florida. And I've got to say, all of this attention on Elon Musk trying to buy Twitter is good for everybody in the social media space. It's good for GETTR. It's good for conservative alternatives to Twitter because it draws attention to all the censorship that's going on. And as they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. It always helps GETTR when people talk about how awful it is on Twitter and how much they try to censor conservative voices.
Tim, great to see you. Tim Martaw, we will see you again very soon.
Good morning.
You, sir.
Thanks, David.
Indeed.